So what's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Seven Figure Sam. I got my boy Kaiser in the house, the original super trainer. And so now that I got the privilege of having him in my office, we call it the lab.
Yep.
So we got you in here in Cali. I see you coming out here with a big Escalade, just one guy, with a big ESV stretched out Escalade. You always done things the big way.
Yeah.
That's why I always loved Super Trainer. When you first started Super Trainer, I was a big fan. And then,
I had a great teacher. On how to ball, I've always had a great teacher. So that's where I get it from.
Thanks, man.
I gotta give you all the credit.
Thanks. So let me ask you something, man. What made you get into fitness marketing in the beginning, and how did you come up with the idea of Super Trainer?
It's a funny story, Sam. They always start like, hey, that's a funny story, But I was doing my thing as a trainer. I started the whole health club thing. I just thought that was a dead end for trainers. Once you're out on your own, it's just so amazing. Like, having a job, as we all know, that kind of job. Having a job, period, a typical 9-to-5 job sucks. But that kind of job, working in a health club, sucks even more, So once I was out, it was just such an amazing experience, finally, making money that people thought I was never going to make, being able to do what I wanted to do, call my own shots. That was really good, and I felt that I had a story to tell in that sense. And on the other hand, too, I felt like I was ready for something new. This is when fitness marketing was becoming very big. Ryan Lee was really the only guy doing it at that time. I went to his event, so a combination of both factors. I was ready to take the next step. I wanted a new challenge, and also I felt like I had a really good story to tell. So that's what I did. I dove into it at first, and everything I did was geared towards those kinds of trainers that had a health club job, or were getting started, maybe had a few clients on the side, but didn't really know how to get themselves organized and take it to the next level. And I had a lot of my former customers and now students of yours moved up and done amazing things. Michael Davis was a health club employee. He bought my course, quit the next day, or 2 weeks later, the rest is history. A lot of guys that I've seen at your event, the last event, the weekend with Sam. I haven't spoken to these guys or seen them.
Shameless plug, February 1st and 2nd,
Yes.
2013,
Yes.
Irvine, California. Shameless plug, be there.
Yeah, so a lot of those guys who I hadn't seen or talked to in a long time were customers of mine that just bought my courses, and they moved up and are doing really big things. Multiple six-figure training businesses. So yeah, so I feel like what I did was a lot of fun. It gave me everything. I got a lot out of it besides money, and it got me to where I am now, where I'm not in that business anymore, and now I've done my own thing offline, back in the fitness business, and I've done it in a way that, again, serves my lifestyle and gives me challenges.
Yeah, I remember, when you had Super Trainer, I was a huge fan of Super Trainer, and I remember every time that you send out an email, and that's one email, automatically, within 30 seconds got opened, because I love your no BS approach. I love the way you worded things, and I thought that, you didn't sugarcoat anything, and you just give it like it was. So now tell me, what was your style? I mean, why'd you choose that style?
Yeah, that's always my style. I'm a little different, in the whole marketing, the whole marketing world, or this whole get-rich-quick marketing world. And I mean, you're friends with all the top people in this business, John Carlton, Joe Polish, guys like that. I think what a lot of people, when they learn from these guys, they go a little bit too much on the side of hype. And I think even people that are doing well with it, other fitness business coaches, other coaches in other industries, even though they're doing well and they have established businesses, they go too far in that area. I've always been a little bit more about quality. We were discussing some of my old courses, and we were talking about the production level of them, and that's always kind of been something that, on the one hand, you want to be productive, you want to get a lot of content, a lot of products and stuff out there. But on the other hand, I had this discussion with one of my trainers. He runs one of the boot camps. And it's just we could do things differently, but I wouldn't even like coming in here. I myself would feel sick coming in here. So it's the same thing. I don't want a website, a blog post. I could just get it out there, just put together some stuff, just vomit on the page or whatever, just throw some pictures in there. But I wouldn't feel comfortable with that, even if that's the way you're supposed to do it. I wouldn't like that. So I guess it's just something internal, with me, like we've been talking about why, and you asked me, why did I start Super Trainer, and I was reading a book, Start With Why, recently. I'm sure you've read that book.
Yeah.
And I think I bought it actually because I saw it. Yeah, I saw it at your place. And he talks a lot about that when you do something just from the marketing angle, just to sell, just to move product, just because of a survey you did or whatever, it's hollow. But if there's something internal inside of you, if that's what's coming out, then that's when something rings true. That's why he keeps pointing to Apple, and that's why Apple, when Steve Jobs was around, even now, it's still doing really well. So that's I guess a long-winded way of answering the question.
So now, I know that now you have some very, very successful offline businesses, and I mean, you do some serious volume. I mean, some of your numbers that I've seen people coming through that, man, I'm like, holy cow. Tell me, what is your number one tip for success, and what are you doing to get that kind of volume? I mean, into your boot camps, what are you doing?
I mean, something that you talk about all the time. I think it would probably be the one word that just describes Super Trainer is differentiation. You talk about that all the time, and I was listening to Differentiate or Die again recently. I'm always listening to that book. So funny. When I was going to sleep the other night, I had it on, and there's two things he talks about. That there's two ideas that go into to any business. There's how it operates, that needs to be done properly, and the strategy. Now to that, I was kind of thinking that the other thing that I'm sure you'd agree with is the marketing, just knowing, being tactically very strong in that. So I think that's one thing that he forgot, the author of that book. But one thing I hang my hat on is I'm not a good tactical marketer. I was just telling you, I've not yet sent a single email to my list.
Wow.
And in operations, we always want to delegate as much as possible. So I pay a manager what typically a business owner would do. I pay a manager a lot of money to handle the operations. What I hang my hat on, I feel, and this is like a funny thing to say, but is a strategy. I've learned a lot. We just talked about my years as Super Trainer, spent a lot of years learning, still spend a lot of time learning. And it's just making those good decisions upstream. Making my place a place that I feel appeals to my target market, making the tone of my business, the message we communicate on Facebook, the message we communicate within the place, the style of the training, the music, uniform, exercises, description of exercises, the type of trainers, everything. I feel like those decisions I spend a lot of time on. I'm kind of a perfectionist on them. And when you do that, even if your strategy suck, even if your tactics suck, word of mouth and all that stuff is so big in a business. And I also feel that when you do get a lead in, I think I talked about this in a blog post I wrote for you recently, that when you go to a restaurant, like there's a feeling you get that the food's going to be good the second you step in. And there's also a feeling you get the second you step in and you speak to the first person standing at the door, that it's going to suck. And there's nothing really that's going to change your mind. So I try to get that part right. And then everything kind of, and once I get my act together with your help and everything else, then maybe, things will take off even more.
One thing that you mentioned once before that always stuck with me. This is something that's something I learned from you, and to this day, man, everywhere I go, I always remember that quote. And it's you said, the person who has the most potent product for the best price is always going to win. You said that in every trade, the person with the best product, most potent product, and the best price, whether it's the drug trade or whether it's boot camp or whether it's personal training, is always going to win. And it's as simple as that statement might be. I took that to heart, and really, started implementing it in my own programs. Like right now, if you look at it, I love the auto industry. I'm looking at it, and one of the fastest growing company is Hyundai. Now, a few years ago, nobody ever looked at a Hyundai or ever thought about buying a Hyundai. But if you look at them right now, these Hyundais are with a 100,000 mile warranty. They look better than some of the Toyotas and the Hondas out there. And now I see them in pretty much every corner. They got, again, the best product, the most potent product for the best price with a kind of like the best warranty. So tell me how I mean, you structured your boot camp that way. That's why you're getting the volume that you're getting. That's why you don't ever have to worry about your next client. So can you elaborate how you're doing that?
Yeah, I mean that's so true, man. The potency, and that's like what I was talking about that I heard that I heard in the book that I would equate to the whole operations thing. At the workout, the environment that has to be potent. Now there's also the whole part of differentiation that we talk about. So that's the other aspect. But if the product sucks, then and it's not a potent product.
So your workout is like crack.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they gotta come. They're fiending to get some more.
Yeah. Speaking of blog posts, I'm writing a post about that because that's what you hear over and over again. Yeah, exactly. That's the potency of the product. Yeah. At the end of the day, you can differentiate, you can market, you can be good tactically, but if they taste test your product and they taste test the next guys, that's gonna speak for itself. Mm-hmm. So that part has to be strong.
And I feel like these days, just the whole marketing has changed. Some of the marketing channels that used to work doesn't work anymore, and with the invention of like things like social media, you can't like put a lid on something and feel like it's not going to get out there. If you suck, it's going to get out there that you suck. There is all these review sites. There is Facebook, Twitter. I mean, people can post stuff and it just goes viral right away. So, having said that, what are some of the things that you're doing? As far as the marketing methods that used to work that don't work, and what are you doing things that are really, really working for you right now?
You're talking about things that you took away from talking to me. There's one thing that I took away the last time I came out here. I came out and just met with you for a full day.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple months ago. And there's one thing you told me just on the last day. It was like a little throwaway idea. We were just sitting, we were tired already. Oh, and we were just just relaxing. And you told me that at the end of the day, you just you can be long-winded. You can do all the selling. At the end of the day, you just got to produce. At a certain point, you have to produce. All that stuff, all the games. At a certain point, you're going to run out. And that's what we're doing. That we're just, again, there's so much importance to marketing and differentiation, but we're just trying to get better. I'm always hesitant to say that because being better isn't only enough. We know that there's so many trainers that are going to every training event trying to become better trainers. That's not helping them. So that's why I'm hesitant to say that.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to get better.
Yeah.
Our trainers getting more knowledgeable. A lot of time in continuing education. Constantly improving the workouts. That's what we're doing because, we have had tremendous inflow. We have made good sales. We do have a lot of people that are kind of tied down on contracts. But then what's going to happen next year? Mm-hmm. At a certain point, it's going to be time to really, people be like, show me the money. It's going to be time to produce. So that's what we've been doing.
The rubber has to, hit the floor sometime. The rubber got to meet the road. Now, we talked about the two different types of trainer. The trainer that's all about marketing, and a trainer that's all about the craft. And we know that one without the other it doesn't really work. You got to kind of have to do both, right? But here's all my feelings about it really quick, and let me know if you agree with this. I feel like if you are really good at craft, so you can get people in shape, great customer service, great training, okay, you might get out of the gate a little bit slower, and you might not have as many clients off the bat. But over time, with the word of mouth, with the social media, with things like Google reviews, Yelp, and all that kind of stuff, the word will get out, and sooner or later you will get busy. Okay, but you might not get off the gate as fast, right? But then you have the other fitness marketers, which is really, really good at marketing, but maybe is not really good at the service and is not really good at the craft. So he might get out of the gate really fast, and he's going to get a bunch of people signed up. And then again, we talk about sooner or later, you got to show me the money, right? You get a bunch of people signed up, but he can't really produce so many results, and the service is not there. I feel like if that's the case, the more people that get in front of you and find out that you're not the real deal, and you're not doing well, and you're not producing results, the faster it's going to go viral that you're not any good. Yep. And it's kind of like marketing yourself out of business. Yep, and I've seen that happen over. Have you, realized anything like that?
I mean, not any real world examples I could point to. I think any business that really blows up really fast and then you don't hear about them anymore. You know, these companies that buy those Super Bowl ads and stuff like that, you know, and then they're just not around anymore just because, you know, whatever the product was, it just wasn't the right product. Or we'll see this, all right, talking a lot about just kind of the type of marketing that, online marketing, stuff like that. Some person will have a product, a lot of people will get behind it, promote that person, but if that person sucks, the product sucks. Sure, the emails went out to thousands of people, but that person's essentially finished.
Okay.
You know?
Now I'm going to, ask you a couple of just like one word questions. And I'm going to throw a word at you, and I want you to just give me like really quick. What do you think of it?
Mm-hmm.
Boot camps.
Boot camps, really quick. Wow, I mean that's what I do. So, really quick. Intensity. That's what people are expecting, in my opinion. You know, you've talked a lot about how you advise fitness professionals these days, if they're starting a business, not to name it a boot camp. But in my mind, when someone sees that boot camp, they're expecting something. There's still something in their mind they're expecting. So, intensity.
Okay, intensity. One-on-one training.
Personally, boring.
Okay. Semi-private training.
It has its place. I think there's it's another. I mean, a boot camp is a very big semi-private session, so you could raise the price point and decrease the quantity. Allows people in your class.
Supplements.
Essential.
Okay. What will be, if somebody was just getting started today, in the game, what will be the top 3 advice you would give them?
Someone just getting started, probably a little bit of a summary of what we talked about. Get very strong at your craft. Learn a lot about marketing. And the last point is something that I think a lot of us with businesses that are doing well almost forget. Your presentation has to be strong too. I think that's part of marketing, but it's also a little different.
Like presentation, like you mean when somebody comes in
Yes.
to your door, what are they going to see? How are they going to get greeted? Is that the presentation you're talking about?
Yes, how you look, how the place looks. I mean, that's exactly what I mean.
Speaking of that, do you feel like if you're a trainer, you got to look like a trainer?
Yes, yeah. It's funny, what you were just talking about, being strong at your craft will get you very far. But, I learned from a lot of people. I learned a lot from you, obviously. You're probably one of the people in the business I learned the most from. But I took a trip out and I visited Gunnar Peterson not too long ago and spent some time at his place. Yeah. And, we talked for a long time, for a couple of hours. And this guy's one of the strongest at his craft.
Yeah.
If you ever catch him, he's always like, I'm reading something or whatever. Whenever he's waiting, he's reading research papers.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
And the only thing he talked to me about were presentation-related topics. He didn't talk about marketing. He doesn't do any, overt marketing. He doesn't send emails out to a list. He's never had a PR person, anything like that. But everything he talked about was how does the place smell? How does it look? How do you smell? Are you spitting on your clients? Just everything was presentation related, and that's part of that is due to the people that he's catering to. They're used to the best of everything. They're eating at the best places, flying, and everything. They're used to the absolute best. But there's a big lesson in that. He didn't have to be strong in marketing because he's very strong in his craft and presentation. He got 2 of them very, very, very right.
Well, they said there's the push marketing and there's the pull marketing. And the push marketing is when you're always trying to push people to try your stuff. And the pull marketing is, you do all the right stuff and people are just gravitated towards you. And it's so much, I always tell my little cousin, he just moved here, he's 18 years old, so it's all into the girls. I'm like, it's the same thing. If a girl is, sitting, at a club or at a bar, or I don't care, it's at a church, it doesn't, the location doesn't matter. But if you really like that girl, if you just go out there and try to push up on her, most likely she's going to be turned off. You know what I mean? But if you, do all the right things and kick back, she'll be more attracted to you. So it's always been, I think that the pull marketing is just so much more attractive than the push marketing. So,
Totally agree.
Awesome.
Totally agree.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks for all the
Thank-
awesome interview.
Yes.
My boy Kaiser, the original super trainer in the house, visiting me here from New York. Thanks so much. Tune in next.